Hey everyone, I'm here in my 2023 Frontier SV, trying to help anyone that's had a mysterious noise come up in their steering column. For me, it was a pretty subtle noise, a bit of clicking, popping, maybe sounded like something unsettled within the steering column. Again, it's a pretty subtle noise. You wouldn't be able to hear it with the radio on or the windows down, really, unless you were driving at a very low speed. If you're a psychopath such as myself and would occasionally drive with no music on and the windows up, this would definitely affect you. This fix overall is pretty simple. It's going to take maybe 20 minutes of your time and some white lithium grease. I can't suggest personally using anything else other than this. It's going to at least stay in place. It's nice having an aerosol to get it in the places you need it to go, but it does remain in place once you spray it. So I don't know if WD-40 or something in a more liquid form would actually help or not long term. I've had this fix done on it for about a week now, and it's taken care of any noise that I had coming from the steering column. So I'll go ahead and get on with it. Step one, we're going to need to remove this lower panel underneath your steering column. There is a screw you'll need to remove underneath the latching mechanism for your hood. And then there are 4 clips, I believe 1, 2, 3, and 4. So when you go to remove it, you're just going to give it a tug under here on both sides, and then from up here as well, you can pull and remove it. All right, panel has been removed. Again, clips are located actually a bit to the left from where I first mentioned on this side, and another clip here and down here. It's pretty easy to remove. Just grab a hold of it, yank it towards the driver's seat, and it'll pop off pretty easily. Next, we're going to need to remove 2 screws behind the steering wheel. They're actually pretty hard to get to. You can't see them just by looking at the wheel if it is on center. So you're going to turn the wheel to the left, reveal a screw there, and then when you remove that one, turn the wheel to the right, and you'll see another screw in there that you'll need to remove. Once those left and right screws are removed, there is another one under here where your steering column adjustment is. That'll need to be removed as well. With all 3 screws removed, this is a half shell piece that comes together at this seam on both sides. So you'll need to pull down and separate that from the upper portion. As you can see, just giving it a little wiggle has already separated. There's a couple pins on each side up in this area that aligns it, and there's a couple clips in there as well. This is going to be relatively easy to separate with just a little bit of force. All right, now that we have everything removed, we've got a pretty good insight to what's going on behind the steering column, or at least the steering wheel and on the steering column. You can see where I've already sprayed the grease to alleviate this issue, and this is what I can suggest doing, is coating almost anything you see that is mechanically driven or has moving parts to the steering column assembly here. We've got springs, latches on the springs here, plastic on metal contact down here. You've got your adjustment mechanism where you can see things moving around. Up top, we've got a bolt securing things, another latching mechanism here on the spring, another spring underneath here. On the other side, we've got a pivot point here, and I think that's about it as far as all these mechanisms go. There's a point here where there is some contact between 2 pieces of metal. And what I can suggest is just coating the hell out of anything that looks like it moves or would touch anything else. I can't exactly pinpoint what was causing the problem behind here, but in general, this seems to have fixed it by lubricating any of these points and parts back here. So one thing I can suggest as well before starting any of this, lay a towel down underneath here for any drips before that aerosol evaporates. Once you spray it, it may drip a bit of grease down here. And if you want, protect from any overspray up top here by putting a towel up in your dash. That should take care of any overspray or cleanup issues. Now, I would also suggest after you spray and coat any of the mechanisms you need to, engage your steering column adjustment lever and articulate it as much as you can, up and down, run through all the motions, let that grease work into the little nooks and crannies that it needs to. I would suggest as well, while you are doing this, find any screws, such as here and here. I think that's for the clock spring. There's another one under here. Any screws that you can see, I suggest just tightening them a little bit. Those ones up top there on both sides were, I wouldn't exactly say loose, but they weren't fully tightened. I wouldn't even say a quarter turn I could get on them, but they were just the slightest bit loose. So anything you can see that you can tighten, I would suggest doing so while you're in here. One area that I didn't mention while I had the covers off is this area under here. There's a pin that crosses that piece right there. Go ahead and lubricate in there, and then any of like the teeth that the column rests on after adjustment, lubricate those as well. Like I said, just pretty much try to lubricate anything you see that pivots or makes contact with anything else, and that should do it. Thanks. After that, you can go ahead and put everything back together, and that should solve your problem. At least I hope so. Thanks for tuning in. Good luck with the fix.